Welcome to Velocity, the Vista Chamber podcast. I'm your host, Chamber CEO Rachel Beld, and it's my privilege to interview the movers, shakers, and change makers impacting our amazing Vista community and beyond. Today, I am excited to welcome my longtime friend, Gumaro Escarcega. You may know Gumaro as the CEO of Main Street Oceanside, but he has deep roots in Vista. And now, Gumaro and his wife Fabiola are carefully taking over the world as the owners of two Vista businesses, Embroidery Image and the Watershack. Originally from the Monterey Bay area, Gumaro and Fabiola met in high school and now are raising their adorable daughter here in Vista. Welcome, Gumaro. I'm so glad to have you here.
Thanks, Rachel. Good to be here.
Yeah. So we've known each other a long time. We go way back to when I was a baby economic developer in the city of Vista. I just started in economic development. You were an intern for the Vista Village Business Association, which was Vista's Main Street organization at the time. Mm-hmm. So a lot has happened since then. But I want, for people who don't know, I'm curious, could you share a little bit about your background? Like, did you feel like you always wanted to own your own business when you were a kid? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, no, my childhood beginnings, I always thought about money. So how to survive out there. I come from a big family. I have 9 siblings. They're all doing great. You know, my mother raised us. I had a stepfather that raised us too. So, but I was always working since I started and I was 12 years old. I remember going to the fields with my mom when I was a kid, you know, those times, you know, and I think at that time, you know, that was my hustle. And so what I did, I applied that to every day, you know, get some money. If I wanted stuff, I had to buy stuff. And so that became kind of the starting point for me to see the entrepreneurship. I didn't know that was entrepreneurship at the time, obviously, but organically I became that person. And since then, I've always been driven to do things, you know, try new things. You know, I was an athlete in high school. That's me and my wife. That's how we ended up hooking up because of the sports, right? And so there a lot of that, you know, based on my upbringings, I bring today. And it's funny how you think about that as you get older, because one thing we do go back a long time. And so I can see how we can, things can be different at a later age. So you go through these experiences in life, I guess, and it kind of molds you to what you want to be, I guess. So
sure.
Take risks. You know, I learned in a really young age to take a lot of risks. My family is all about risk. So, and that's another discussion at a later time too.
Yeah.
But no, it's how I started my entrepreneurship. And then Main Street, you know, coming to Main Street got me to learn more about the small business community, which has been amazing. It's been a huge rewarding experience just because these guys, they work hard. They work very hard, you know, and so I can fit in with them. So then my wife and I decided to open Embroidery Image and then later Vista Watershack. So
awesome. And you have a degree. You went to San Diego State and you have a degree in planning, right?
Correct.
How do you feel like your planning degree ties into the work that you do? Maybe at Oceanside, at Main Street Oceanside, or at Watershack and Embroidery Image?
Yeah. So, you know, college in general, forget the degree. I think college in general can prepare you for a lot of great things in life. You know, obviously the degrees there is a theory of what the job is going to be, but that's nothing compared to what your job it is. And so, going through college, the planning process, the organization process, all that really helped me kind of understand what I need to do, how to navigate through the resources that you need to be able to tap into, you know, and always take that, you know, voice up, you know, talk about it, look into it, be proactive on the approach if you want to be successful in life.
Awesome. Well, so you mentioned that you bought Embroidery Image first and then the Watershack. And so what was it that led you, how did it come to be that you bought Embroidery Image and you acquired that business? Because it wasn't like, here's a business, buy it. I mean, what happened there?
Well, relationships, right?
Yeah.
When I worked at Vista Village Business Association, I still had relations with our business owners here and property owners. I never lost contact. And so the network that I kept going, you know, allowed me to meet with Kent and Brenda Schumann at the time that owned Embroidery Image. And we became really close friends. And so one year, he always contacted me every year to see how business was doing, what he needs to do to improve his business. And so we just chat over a beer. And so we ended up, one day he called me in and says, hey, let's have a beer. And he told me, hey, look, I'm looking to retire. I'm looking to, you know, next phase of my life, my next chapter. And I was like, oh, great. And so he told me about the business that he's selling it. And so I let him finish his thought, and I told him, what if I was interested in this? I'll give you first dibs on it.
Great.
And so I was like, whoa, okay, this is cool. Like, so it got me going now. And so first step is, let's talk to Fabiola.
Yeah.
And so I remember, this is true story. I talked to her that night, and I told her about the business proposal that Kent told me. And I told her, don't answer me now, just sleep on it. Tell me in the morning. And I woke up in the morning, she was already waiting for me. So let's do it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
How are we going to do this? I don't know. But that became the story of acquiring Embroidery Image.
That's awesome. And so you bought it in 2017. You had a couple of years under your belt. Then the pandemic hit, and that was a roller coaster. So a lot of businesses were really impacted negatively during the pandemic. But, I know you guys it was hard, but you were able to pivot. So tell me about what it was that helped you keep your business going during the pandemic and now several years after.
Yeah, loyal customers.
Yeah.
The loyalty of the community of Vista is amazing. A lot of the companies that we work with kept us really busy. We're very fortunate. COVID in this area was not as impactful as other areas, I would assume. We took our hits. We lost like 40% of our business. But then as a small business owner, we're owners, we were able to manage it, my wife and myself, just extra work, and so there's not many people around us, so it kept us well under COVID regulations. So we were able to operate and produce quite a bit for a lot of local businesses like Tri-City Hospital, a lot of the clinics, any essential businesses were coming to us, manufacturing companies. And so building those relationships with those companies allowed us to really grow the business as well.
Yeah.
And so, fast forward now is we still have contained some of these customers and partners that will continue to work with them. And so building that relationship with their customer base is really important too.
Wow. I can't imagine what that was like as a business owner to also be running, working at Main Street Oceanside. And you were the number 2 role at that time. But, at the chamber, it was like 24/7 helping businesses, trying to help them get information, do all those things. And then also to manage your own business during that time must have been really, really hard. But like you said earlier, you've got that hustle. And so, you can do double or triple the amount of stuff that maybe a regular person can do because you've got that grit and that drive.
Right.
So good for you. Good for you and Fabiola for keeping things going. And so then, fast forward a little while and the Watershack. So first of all, tell us about the Watershack. What is the Watershack, first of all?
So the Watershack is a water store with a restaurant element to it. So I sell American food, burgers, hot dogs.
A really awesome patty melt.
Tasty pastrami sandwich too.
Okay.
So it's one of the best pastramis out there in the market right now, and we sell it at the Watershack. I visited that business actually a year before we ended up being interested in this property, and I was very fascinated on the setup, and I'm still am, but it works for some reason.
You can buy water, you can get a burger or a hot dog, pastrami sandwich, and then shave ice.
The best part about it is it's very cost effective. It's really for families to come and enjoy, fill up the water, pick up an ice cream and go back happy. Keep your kids smiling all day when you're outings. It's a win-win for everybody. So it gives you that family-oriented business, and same with our employees. Our employees are young. They're 17, 18, 19, 20-year-olds that this is their entry-level job, and they're loving because they're helping selling things to the community. So and they're building those relationships now. So we have our locals that come and meet with them, and it's great to see that chemistry with our clients. So yeah, it's pretty fun.
And you have a longtime manager who's been there.
Yes, Daniel has been a godsend to us.
Yeah.
So she's been operating the business. She's there Tuesday through Saturday. Loves it. She's been great for us, and she continues to thrive there. So
yeah.
But we also acquired the property. So
you bought the business and the property.
So what interests me in this deal was the property.
Okay.
I've been around with Main Streets. I've been around development. I've been around properties, pretty much my 20-year career in this, right? Or 18 years. And so, when I was in San Diego State, actually, this goes back to when I was a valet. I used to work at Transit Mr. Ace. And I remember visiting this place because they had the Ace parking office there at that time. and I was a valet. So I worked for them, but I was working also on downstairs. And I don't know, when I was that time, I was like, how does it feel to own a property, at this scale, and I always wanted, I want to see if I can do that at one point in my life. So that's been in my mind since that time. And so my wife and myself, we want to be entrepreneurs, but I'm also interested in property itself. So that triggered us to say, let's do this. And then with the assets that comes with that property was just the restaurant and water store to hopefully pay for itself. And so that's what we're doing right now is right now, like I said, small businesses are struggling. They're not the greatest, but it's giving back and helping other families grow and do that. That's the more rewarding part of this business right now.
That's great. And you mentioned that a lot of the employees that work at the Watershack specifically maybe their first job. So it's an opportunity to really train them on how to have customer service, how to make change, how to prepare food the same way every time, all of that consistency. So those are huge lessons that you can teach. So about how many employees do you have at the Watershack?
There's 9 employees at the Watershack. 9.
Oh, wow. That's great. Yeah. Well, I feel like every time I go there, Danielle is there. So she's a hardworking lady.
She's hard. She works very hard for us.
Yeah. That's awesome. She's great.
She's great. She's amazing. And, we're learning together, actually. So this has actually been a great experience for both of us because she's kind of like a partner in this. You know? And it's been rewarding because she's also learning as we're learning. I've given her more of that role to really start taking things on her own. And so she's growing with this business. So, we plan to continue to take care of her because she's definitely a great asset to this business. That's fantastic. Yeah.
So what is Fabiola's role with both Embroidery Image and the Watershack? Because I know you're working at Main Street Oceanside. You also have your daughter. So I know Fabiola is a key piece of this whole puzzle. So tell me, what's her role there?
Yeah. So luckily we do have a production person working all the production on the embroidery shop. So that helps tremendously. Fabiola's role with the embroidery shop, she manages and operates the embroidery shop. I help her with the digitizing and specs of designs and things in that nature, but she does more of the role of managing the day-to-day operations. She's also the HR of the businesses, and she's really heavily in HR with running payroll, making sure we're in compliance at the Watershack.
That's great. That's great. So, obviously, running 2 businesses, Main Street Oceanside, which now you're the CEO, you're in the lead role there, and there's a lot. Main Street Oceanside has a lot going on with it. So how do you keep it all straight? You do a lot, and Fabiola does a lot. How do you, as an entrepreneur, navigate keeping everything up and all those plates in the air?
You don't sleep much. Yeah. For one thing, you're constantly working. Your mind constantly works on what to do. However, I do have a good cast in Main Street Oceanside. I have an amazing staff.
How many team members there?
So in front of the house, we have 12 office operators, full-time employees, 13 actually, and then we have about 16 or 17 part-time employees to operate all of the activities that we do during the Sunset Market or other special events that we produce at Main Street Oceanside. But we're also managing a P-bid there, which is the P-bid is helping keep downtown clean and safe. And so we have more courtesy people out there cleaning on the streets. I got pressure washers out there. So there's a lot to handle. And it's a great accomplishment what I've been there since I left Vista. When I was there in 2013, when I got to Oceanside, it was a $750,000 budget. And when I came in, I started adding more programs, more activities, and now it's at $3.8 million.
That's amazing.
So in a matter of 12 years, we have grown. And it speaks volumes of what Oceanside is going through right now. I know Vista is going through the same ways. There's a lot of activity happening, a lot of building. A lot of people are scared, obviously, but this is good growth for the community. And the more we can bring in through entrepreneurship, it's amazing to see how we can grow together and create these experiences. And so hopefully we can somehow connect more with, North County.
Yes.
Because there's so much to see up in North County. And I think we should be driving more people in. So
the collaboration is really important. And I do think North County is a special place when it comes to collaboration. Yes. I think we work together really well. Like I know the chambers work really closely together, and And we see the cities, partnering for economic development. So I think those are good things. What advice would you have for someone, a young person with that hustle, that grit, who is thinking maybe they want to own a business or do something? What advice would you have for someone who's a future entrepreneur?
Yeah, it's normal to feel scared. It's normal to really feel like there's a lot on your shoulders. It's a normal thing. Is take your time, be patient. Hopefully, things line up according to what your vision is. But it's okay to be scared on some of these risks that you're taking, because either you take this risk or you just move on with your life and think, what if, and sometimes those what ifs don't sit well on some people, I think. So I think trying new things is a good thing too, and just opens opportunities. Yeah.
You mentioned early in your first answer about taking risks and how that's an important value in your family. Anything you want to share about that? I'm curious.
Put everything in the line. Obviously with the family, you have to balance it. And I have learned through years, obviously being in a relationship is it's one of the hardest things out there too. Let's not think above beyond, but there's a lot of things that we go through every day, personally, business wise. And so we all have feelings, but some people express it more than others. And so just trying to, make sure that those feelings get out too, and make sure you lean on somebody to really support that too. And it could be your wife, could be a mentor. We have had so many mentors, me and you, I think in the last 10, 20 years, so, but it's good to just take those opportunities, take those leaps, because risk is always going to exist no matter what you do. Yeah.
Well, also, I feel like you're also a very calm person most of the time. I've rarely seen you get heated. And I've seen you navigate some really tricky situations before. And so I think having a very calm demeanor and also being able to calm other people down when they start to freak out a little bit, I think is a really important skill to have in the role that you play in Main Street Oceanside and also as an entrepreneur. So I think that's a good attribute that you have. So thumbs up on that. The Vista Chamber of Commerce, we are working really hard to better connect with Hispanic and Latino-owned businesses. And so I'm curious if you have any advice on how some things that we could do better at the chamber, or things that you've seen be successful in Oceanside, or maybe personally that some things that you would want as a Vista business owner for the chamber to help engage with you.
Yeah, I think in general the Latino market is not as easy as we think it is. I struggle. Luckily, we have a platform, which is the micro enterprises, right? We do have a high volume of Hispanics working in the micro enterprise. There are ownerships, right?
What is a micro enterprise?
It's a small business.
Okay.
It's a small business operating in a outdoor setting, like the street fairs, Sunset Market, things in that nature, right? So it's a great way to get into businesses. More affordable. It's actually, you pay as you go.
It's an entry level.
It's an entry level, but it can be really lucrative for some individuals. And so the micro industry is, how can we connect more with them? And I think I have the same struggles than anybody that's trying to work in this industry with Latinos. It's just, we need to penetrate the market like you guys are doing right now in a young age. Is how can we educate and bring the youth to elevate them to they can be future leaders of this community. And I think that's what's going on right now too, is that we are working already diligently on this. It doesn't show based on businesses because it's just the engagement on them is really tricky. So it's I think at the end of the day, I think what you guys are doing with the Ep3 you guys did a couple weeks ago, I think that's a great start to the community. Just showing respect and showing the love, that you guys are here to help. It's amazing too. So
it takes time. We're finding that our progress has been slower than we wanted, but also we want it to be authentic and not rushed and not fake. So I appreciate that.
One thing is find your champions too, find a couple champions out there. I can be one, but my time is limited as well.
Yes,
but
you're a busy dude.
I can help in so many ways, but but there's other people. Jose Jaimes, he's with Tierra Caliente. It's a nonprofit, but it's a business.
He partnered with us for our Patrias event that we just did, which was awesome.
So those are great opportunities to keep engaging with that market. Because it's a really important market for Vista in North County.
Yeah.
It's one of the highest percentages of demographic groups in this area. So we need to connect more with them, those individuals. And we have great Latino community business owners already here.
Amazing people. I love their stories.
Great. So how can we engage more individuals to do that is something that we all need to work on that.
Yeah.
I think even as a Latino business owner, how can I inspire others to keep doing what we're doing and get engaged and involved?
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so I want to ask you, before we kind of wrap up and get to rapid fire questions, to just give a little pitch for both Embroidery Image. What do you like? What's your sweet sauce there? Like, what do you really specialize in? And then also for Watershack, give us a little commercial.
Yeah, so Embroidery Image is all about small businesses. We don't have no minimums. We work with your budget too. If you're tight of money, we'll help you out. We're about helping the business grow, because if they grow, we grow with them. So that's my motto with Embroidery Image.
And you do embroidery? Do you do screen printing too?
No, we source it out. We have a great partner here, local, actually, Alchemy Printing.
Right.
We use them a lot for our printing job. So again, collaboration, building more. It's different ways how you can still be in the business and support your customer base that wants other resources that you can offer through partnerships.
Got it.
So that's how the embroidery business and screen printing shops, heat presses, all that stuff works really well with that industry. And also we're a really small community where we produce well. The business was left in good hands. There were all the teachings that Kent gave me on digitizing. He transferred them to me. So there's a lot of cross training. So the quality, it's really well done right now at the embroidery shop. And so we have great machines out there. So second to none best machines out there. So again, do we have the proper equipment and software to leverage that community? So, and then the Watershack, best water in town. So come to to Watershack, close to downtown, Vista here. So located in 807 North Santa Fe. Come get your ice cream, your milkshakes, if you want to take a hot dog with you, it's a great place to come get some good food out there, actually.
If someone asks, do you want to take a hot dog with you? The answer is always yes.
Yes.
Yes, you do want to take a hot dog with you.
Yes.
Okay, so I have a couple rapid fire questions. And so the first is, tell me a book that's important to you. Give me a book recommendation.
Well, I'm going to go with this one because this is perfect what's going on right now. It's Elephant Goes to the Potty.
Elephant goes to the potty.
Elephant goes to the potty. Why? I have an almost 3-year-old lady that's growing up and she needs to be potty trained. So it's perfect timing on this. And she's loving it because she's actually learning how to potty train right now.
Yay! Great job.
Yeah, so she's awesome.
Yeah, elephant goes to the potty. That's everybody needs to use the bathroom, so even elephants. That's great. Love it. All right, tell me a song that you always have to turn up. Gumaro, what's your jam?
Man, I suck at music, man. I don't know why you put me on the spot with music. I don't even know the artist's names or the song's names. That's how terrible I am with music.
All right, so you can sing it if you want.
No, that's even worse. But if I would say today's topic, it's Bob Marley,
Yeah.
Don't worry.
No worries.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about a thing.
No.
I love it.
It's going to be okay.
It will be okay. I love that. Okay, tell me something that inspires you.
Life. What life has to bring.
I love it. Yeah. You're going for it.
Yeah.
You're just all in on life.
Yeah.
I love that. Mm-hmm. I love that. Okay. Last question. Give me a Vista business that deserves a shout out.
That's a good question, man. I'm going to go with my friends, and people might hate me for this, but I'm going to go with my friends at Handels.
Oh, I love Handels. They're so great in the community. They do so much.
They support my business.
Yeah.
They go shop there.
That's awesome.
That's what we want to see. I go to Handels too.
Yeah.
I have an ice cream shop and I still go to Handels.
Yeah.
So they're great. I got to say Handels.
Yeah. And nobody's ever going to hate you for anything because you're amazing. And if they do, they got to go through me first.
I got a lot of friends out here too.
Yeah,
so
you do. Well, I want to thank you for being here today, Gumaro.
Thanks, Rachel.
Thank you so much for taking time. I know you're a really busy person, so I really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you to my guest, Gumaro Escarcega, and thank you for listening to Velocity. If you like what you heard, tell a friend and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Help us move Vista forward with Velocity. The Vista Chamber of Commerce is a nonprofit organization that serves as a catalyst for business growth. Find us online at vistachamber.org.